Okay, I'm calling this video a return to a most fearful sacrifice. And I don't mean that in the sense that I've abandoned the game and have now returned to it. I mean that in the sense that in the last few weeks I've been playing a lot of this with a friend and also solitaring it. And I can now look at the game a little bit differently now that I've got some experience with it. And it's not going to be a long video, but it's more or less going to explain again why I like this system very much. And the scenario that I've set up, the one I've been exploring lately, is a Longstreet's Assault. I've been spending most of the time playing the first day's battle, which is one of my favorite parts of the battle to study. But with the Longstreet Assault video in the background, I'm going to show you why I like this game so much. Now this happens to be my game here at 5 o'clock, so we're a couple of hours into the scenario. For those of you who are familiar with the attack, it's more or less the divisions of Hood and McLaws, supported by Anderson, attacking Sickles' exposed corps out here in the peach orchard. And like I said, I'm a couple of turns into the game already. And it's really those three divisions against Sickles' corps. And the Union has a lot of supporting brigades coming up under the 2nd Corps, 5th, and even elements of the 6th Corps. So it's an interesting situation that Sickles is by himself taking on these three divisions, and getting support. And I'll zoom in and start to explain why I think this is a really terrific system. Now, one of the reasons I like this system so much is the absence of counter clutter. First of all, you've got these large 1-inch counters, which is just beautiful, very detailed. And as you can see, with all these counters on the board in various states, you don't see a lot of route markers on top of the counters. You don't see pin markers. You don't see column markers. The game is very clean. I can see the counters. And what they've done when you do get a shaken result, you put the shaken result marker under the counter. It's yellow, and it doesn't detract from the units themselves. And immediately by seeing the yellow line on the side, you know that there's something going on with the unit below. That's why the game is so clean. The other reason the game is so clean is what I'm going to show you on the Corps and Division cards. For those of you that have the game, you know that there are no leader counters per se on the game. That again makes the game very clean. I think I worked it out that you're saving close to 114 counters, I think it is. So you've got your divisions on cards, which are on Corps command displays. For example, if a general is wounded, then you just take a little counter here and put it on the card and show that he's wounded, and it has various effects. So again, you're keeping your game clean by not having all these hit and pinned and routed markers all over the board. So that's another reason why I like this system so much. Okay, another reason I like this system so much is this use of the broken box and crushed box. Now when units are broken, really busted up, they come off the board into this broken box, and later on they can be reformed and brought back onto the game. Now if a unit is totally destroyed, crushed, that's a horse of a different color. The counter is removed and put in this crushed box. But this idea of having broken units go off the board is another one that makes the game very clean, and the counters can always be seen. Now I haven't played a scenario yet where overnight the broken units can reform and come back in the morning. So far I've been just playing scenarios. Again, that's the second reason why I like the system. Now another reason I really like the system is the use of these core cards. Now these core cards are the ones that you'll draw from your draw deck. And when you draw a core card, you're going to roll a die and obey the instructions on the card itself. So for example, if you pulled Hancock's core and rolled a 5, you'd have to obey division priority number 1 and 2, and you could also use Hazard's artillery. And above you can see where I've prioritized Caldwell in my first position, Gibbon in my second, and Hayes in my third. If the text is in black, as it is here, you would then roll on the Caldwell card to see how much of his division activates. If you rolled, for example, a 5, all the brigades in that division would be able to move as a group. If you rolled a 1, for example, only one brigade could move. So you can see by the card and the die roll, a whole host, variety of events can occur. And of course, Hazard's artillery would be able to move too, which is attached to this core. So unlike many other games where it's kind of, stop and go. Oh, I rolled. Oh, can't move. Oh, I rolled. I can move. It's kind of stop and go, all or nothing. This one is very different. And these brigades are activated and not activated all the time. They're always in a constant state of flux. And each turn you can change the priority of these divisions. If you feel that you have a situation where, oh my God, I've got to move Hayes, I've just got to put him into division priority 1, and one that you don't care much about, not as important, put it in the third and put the second, so on. So these cards themselves are continually shuffling each turn, plus the die rolls, plus what the enemy is doing, is going to affect the way these units moved. And for you control freaks out there that like to move every single counter on the board and wherever you like, this system is not for you. This is very realistic. Another reason that makes this game so great is the variety of combat results. And that's a result of the way he's designed his tables. Now, in my inexperience with the game, at first, my opponent and I, we said, well, we seem to be getting a lot of shaken and SK1 results. It's kind of repetitive. But as we got to know the game, and we're playing it right, we got to see the huge variety of results that can occur. Because on this fire table, you're rolling digit dice. So if you roll a 5 and a 6, you're over here 56. You crosshatch with the strength of your brigade. Then you get a lettered result, T, R, S, so on. Then you go to the second table here, crosshatch that letter with the morale value of the target unit, which again is variable. Then you crosshatch those two results and you get a new result. So the variety here is incredible. And even in some situations, when you crosshatch and get a result, you sometimes can go to a third table, which is this close fight example, close fight resolution. And this system also exists for the combat assaults, in other words, melee. You have a mini crosshatch system which gives other results, plus a whole host of modifiers. So when I go into a battle with a brigade against another brigade, I can, certain amount of calculations I can do. It's not quite a black box. I mean, I know if I've got a value that's, his combat value is 6 and the other guy's value is 1, and I've got a morale of 4 and he's got a morale of 2, I'll probably win the battle. But it's not assured. The amount of results is very, very good. Not like the old Avalon Hill games. So that's another reason why I like this system so much. Now, I'm not going to say much more about the game. I think it's one of the finest simulations on the Battle of Gettysburg there is. And I have bought Kernstown, which is the not the blind sword system. or pardon me, it is the Blind Sword system, and this is the Black Swan system. And I'm very favorably impressed with that one too. But this one, A Most Fearful Sacrifice, it is, in my opinion, the best simulation on the Battle of Gettysburg. Not for everyone, though. Like I said, if you're a control freak and like to be in control of every single counter, this wouldn't be your cup of tea. Now, already I'm projecting ahead. I don't know what Herman Lutman has in mind for the system, but as I play the Gettysburg game, at the back of my mind, I go, wow, would this game ever be great for the Battle of Antietam? A one-day battle, but still a big one. And it would be very interesting to see McClellan's army outnumbering Lee's 2-1 and fighting the Battle of Antietam with this system. I'm sure it would be pretty awesome. So that's my last word on A Most Fearful Sacrifice. I think from the videos that I've produced, you know that I like the game, and that's all there is to it. So if you're thinking about getting the game and you're not sure, maybe this will influence you one way or the other. If you want a good simulation of the Battle of Gettysburg, definitely this is certainly one of the best games out there. Thank you for watching.